In this installment, we're going to be going over the NFL Week 14 early slate. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our Week 14 early slate we got going on. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetSD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91, and don't forget about that Patreon. Right now at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 10.3 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 20k, and we're well on our way because you guys are showing up each and every single day. If you are already subscribed, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm so you can grow to a much broader audience. All right, now for the Thursday video, we crushed it. That was a sweep there. We had the over in the total, and we had the Lions on the money line. That both covered. I told you that the Cowboys was a trap game. Every time you think that the Cowboys are going to get good, all the public was on the side of the Cowboys over the Lions, when technically the Lions is one of the biggest public teams around, especially one of the favorites earlier this season. What was it? Earlier game against the Chiefs earlier in the season where everyone was on the Lions, and the opposite happened. Now literally the same scenario happened, but with the Cowboys here. Cowboys were big favorites, and they absolutely did not show up. See, this is the game I'm talking about right here. This Lions-Chiefs game in Kansas City, the public was all over the Detroit Lions in that one. I told you the Kansas City Chiefs in that scenario, you gotta watch out for these trap games. All right, these are trap games. All right, look what happened. The Chiefs wind up blowing them out. Same scenario in this one. All the public money on the Cowboys in the Thursday game. I was like, hey, the Cowboys are fake. They are frauds. They won 3 games in a row. Cool, but that's not. They're not that good. All right, and what happened? The Lions won by double digits. Okay, so we've been crushing it on Patreon. You gotta sign up. Click that link provided down below so you can get access to this. So we just dominated Thursday, roll into Friday. We had a 3-leg parlay. This is one of my personal plays here. Wasn't able to get it out to the guys in time, but we had the Cade Cunningham over 27.5, Nikhil Alexander over 18.5, and Evan Mobley double with all those injuries on the Spurs. That cash at a plus 742. And then for the plays on Friday, every play I posted hit on the NBA. So these were some of the parlays were created. Celtics, Pistons, Cavs. That cash at plus 197. And this gem right here, Celtics, Hawks plus 4, Cavs, and 76ers plus 723. That cash as well. So don't stop missing out on the community that we got going. These plays we're posting here on the Patreon. Click that link provided down below. You're going to get full access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. In Mercedes-Benz Stadium here, we have the Atlanta Falcons 4-8 going against the Seattle Seahawks 9-3. Looking at this matchup here, Seattle, huge favorites on the road, -7 with the comeback. -7 spread, total 44.5, money line at -350, comeback of the Atlanta Hawks at plus 280 on that money line. All right. Looking at the public bet percentage, checking in on the money line, 94% of the bets and 95% of the money all over Seattle. For the total, 68% of the bets, 68% of the money towards the over 44.5. And for the spread, 78% of the bets, 76% of the money on Seattle to cover this number as well on the road. All right. Before we get deep dive into this game here, break it down. Injury report, we have Riley Mills, DN, he's going to be out. And Derek Young, wide receiver, he's going to be out. So not many injuries there for the Seattle side. Atlanta's dealing with some issues here. No Drake London, no DeMarco Hellams, safety, no Brandon Dorlus, DN. We got Q tags on their D tackle. Anye Manata, who's limited on Friday, so he could play. We'll see. And then Chris Lindstrom is questionable, but he should be able to play with 2 limiteds coming in on that one. All right. Now, it's easy for me to say that this Seattle team should crush Atlanta going into Atlanta. If we're looking at the last couple games here for Seattle, you're looking at the record 9-3. They're playing phenomenal football. No Drake London on the other side of the Falcons. And you see they've won 4 out of the last 5 games, dominating Minnesota, barely beating Tennessee, but a win nonetheless, beating Arizona and Washington. All right, so a lot of easy opponents here, but this is a road game. Their Atlanta defense is tough, especially it plays much better at home. Okay, I think if we're looking at Atlanta in these home games, this is when they've been the most competitive. All right, on the road it's a different story. They've been getting their butts kicked, but at home at least only lost by 3 against Buccaneers. They beat the Commanders. They beat the Bills, so that's a big win there at home. They got blown up by Miami. This was the worst loss here at home. Worst loss against Miami. They only lost by 6 against the Colts and only 3 against the Panthers. All right, so for the most majority of these games, they've been keeping it close, and I think that they're going to have to rely on this running game. They got a two-headed monster in Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. I get it with this rushing defense here of Seattle, but they're going to have to utilize these running backs in the receiving game because of the injuries to the wide receivers, and I think that's where they can exploit the linebacker core of Seattle. All right, that's where we're going to have to see. Start with the rush, maybe a couple screens here and there, and then you can get some play action going on as well with the dynamic Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. But ultimately, I like the points with Atlanta. Atlanta plays tough at home. Both of these defenses are tough. I like Falcons getting to the quarterback. That's going to be the main key here for them to stay in this game. The kryptonite to Sam Darnold is pressure. All right, and this Atlanta team can definitely do so. They have a higher sack rate than the Seattle Seahawks. This is the top 3 team in sacks. All right, and that's where the X factor is going to be. Pressure on Sam Darnold and the running game, utilizing these backs also in the receiving game, and that's where they have an avenue to cover this number. So top play +7 for the Falcons, secondary play under 44 on the total. In Highmark Stadium here, we have the Buffalo Bills 8-4 going against the Cincinnati Bengals 4-8. Looking at the odds in this one, Buffalo Bills -275 on the money line. Come back at the Bengals at a +225. Total at 53, spread at 6. Okay. Looking at the public bet percentage here, we have 77% of the bets, 61% of the money all over Buffalo. For the total, 52% of the bets on the under, but 58% of the money on the over 53. And for the spread, 68% of the bets, 70% of the money on the Cincinnati Bengals to cover the 6 points. All right, now injury report here. Big injuries for that Buffalo Bills defense. Terrell Bernard out, linebacker. D and Joey Bosa out with a hamstring and wrist, and Josh Palmer, wide receiver, is doubtful. We got a Q tag yet again on Dalton Kincaid. All right, so 2 big outs right there with Joey Bosa, especially he had a good game against the Steelers, and then Terrell Bernard for the Bengals. No issues here except for we're waiting on confirmation on Trey Hendrickson. He had 3 straight DNPs. We'll see if he's going to be able to give it a go here in Week 14. This is a huge game for the Cincinnati Bengals if they're going to be making a run here, or at least try to stay in the hunt. Okay, because technically they are not eliminated yet. All right, so looking at these 2 teams, Bills coming off a win where they took advantage of a very hampered Pittsburgh Steelers. It was a full, they took advantage of Aaron Rodgers and his injury. The Steelers offense was only able to play in the pistol formation, so it made things obvious. Once it got to the second half of the game, that's where the turnovers and the separation came from the Buffalo Bills defense. We're not going to be seeing that here with the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals here with Joe Burrow fully healthy. They're going to bring a dynamic offense here to the forefront, and this should be a very high-scoring affair with a lot of fireworks. All right, I get it with the Bengals defensive issues, but I think the motivation of getting Joe Burrow back, you saw a very inspired effort here from the Bengals defense against Baltimore as well. creating turnovers. That's going to be key here. They can create turnovers, make it give the ball back to Joe Burrow's hands and keep the ball out of Josh Allen's hands. That's going to be very key. Now, Buffalo can definitely cover this number if they get with this run game and use James Cook. But I was impressed from what I've seen from Cincinnati Bengals defense last week. Now, ultimately, I think that the points is too many. All right, I think that the Bengals have an avenue to definitely keep this close and win in this must-win scenario, because the Buffalo Bills on the other end have been super inconsistent, especially on the defensive end as well. All right, so 2 inconsistent defenses here, and we got 2 great quarterbacks. Give me the +6 on the Bengals main play, and give me the over 53 on the total. In Huntington Bankfield here, we have the Cleveland Browns 3-9 going up against the Tennessee Titans here 1-11. Looking at the current odds here, Browns at home favorites -210, comeback of the Titans +170, total at 33.5, spread at 4. All right, public bet percentage here coming in on this game, checking in on those odds. 89% of the bets, 88% of the money all over the Cleveland Browns. For the total, 75% of the bets, 72% of the money here on the over 33.5. And then for the spread, 68% of the bets, 75% of the money on Cleveland to cover the 4 as well. All right, so injury report here before we break it down. We're waiting on news about Brendan Bates, backup tight end. We're waiting on news about Wyatt Teller, guard. That could be a huge out. Aiden Huntington, D tackle. We're waiting on him. Jack Conklin, concussion protocol. We're waiting on him. And Devin Bush, linebacker. We're waiting on him. So some key players here for the Cleveland Browns here. With these 2 DNPs. We'll see if they were able to give it a go on Friday. We'll get further confirmation on Sunday morning. All right, Tennessee Titans here. No Jalen Armour-Davis. He's going to be out. No Lloyd Cushenberry, center. He's going to be out. That will hamper their offensive line. Everyone else is fine here. Waiting on... They spelled concussion wrong. They spelled concussion wrong on Shai Tuttle. But Shai Tuttle looks like he's going to be fine with 3 straight full practices. All right, now, this is a game of 2 bottom feeders here between the Titans and the Cleveland Browns. This is a vendetta here, Cam Ward versus Shedeur Sanders. All that talk in the pre-draft process between those two, who's going to go number 1. They were going back and forth, and now they get to face each other. All right, now the benefit for Shedeur is that the Cleveland Browns defense is pretty top tier and should give Cam Ward some fits. And on the other end, the Titans defense has struggled. They struggle against rushing yards allowed per game, the 22nd, and passing yards per game as well. So that's going to make things even easier if the Browns can get Quinshon Judkins up and running here to get things going, to make the life easier for Shedeur Sanders in this Browns offense. So ultimately, I do think the Browns are the better team here. I do think the Browns are going to win this game. The 4 is really the tough number, all right? There's more than a field goal. I'm going to have to be leaning. I'll take the Browns money line at -210. Obviously, I want a better number, but I'm only willing to take the money line. And for the secondary play, I would go under 33.5 here. I think that this defense here, the Browns, can be very dominant against a porous offensive team here in the Tennessee Titans, and they can give Cam Ward some fits. All right, they've been doing it all year to quarterbacks here. So Browns money line and the under 33.5 on the total. In the MetLife Stadium here, we have the New York Jets 3-9 going up against the Miami Dolphins 5-7. Looking at the current odds for this matchup here, starting off with the money line, we have -150 here for the Dolphins. They are road favorites. Road favorites? Okay, what? Road favorites here, Miami Dolphins -150, New York Jets +125 on the money line, total at 41.5, and spread at 3. They're road favorites and they got the spread at 3. That's insane. Looking at the odds here, public bet percentage, starting off with this one, I'm very curious to see how this is. Really, 79% of the bets, 85% of the money all over Miami. For the total, 66% of the bet, 62% of the money on the over 41.5. And for the spread here, 62% of the bets, 57% of the money on the Miami to cover as well in an in-division matchup on the road. Oh boy. Yep. All right, looking at the injury report here, Jarvis Brownlee Jr. This is a big one. Out. He's out here. He's been playing pretty solidly. He's a really good tackler as well, coming from the cornerback position. Tony Adams looks like he's going to be fine. Marcelino McCurry Ball, linebacker, he's going to be out. Cam Jones, linebacker, he's going to be out, and Justin Fields is going to be out. All right, we are waiting on Quantez Stiggers, cornerback, to come back from concussion. He did get a full practice hit on Friday. That's a positive sign for Miami. No issues here. We are waiting on Elijah Campbell for the Dolphins as their cornerback. All right, now let's look at this one here. Going over to the game, Dolphins, they played earlier this season. Let me get that score for you guys. Yep, I remember that. That was a big game from Justin Fields. He had that 60-yard touchdown run, but the Jets fell short in Miami. This is the opposites here. Miami has played poorly on the road. They played out phenomenal at home, and now Miami on a 3-game winning streak. They're coming in against the Jets here, and now they are road favorites here. That is shocking for a poor team that's under 500. All right. Now, like I said, the Dolphins are really good. They're really good at home. All right. As you can see, they beat the Saints, they beat Washington, they beat Buffalo, and got handled by Baltimore. All right. Now, we saw a resurgence from the Jets offense here with Tyrod Taylor at quarterback against Atlanta, and you saw the emergence of Adonai Mitchell, who is a dynamic wide receiver and definitely can take advantage of this secondary as well. All right. So, the defense that's playing the best as of right now would be the Jets. They're top 10 against passing yards allowed per game. They are giving up some more yards in the rushing department, but Bijan had his way with the Jets, but they're going to have another tough test here going up against Devon Achane. I think that the value is all on the Jets in this one. This is crazy to see the Dolphins as road favorites, and I wouldn't touch that at all. All the values on the Jets in this one. So give me the Jets +3. I like the motivation they had. I like the camaraderie around Tyrod and now these two wide receivers and John Mechie and Adonai Mitchell. Breece Hall should have a really good day against this rushing defense as well. That's 29th in the league in rushing yards allowed per game. So main play, Jets +3. Secondary play, I would lean towards an over 41.5 on the total. In U.S. Bank Stadium here, we have the Minnesota Vikings 4-8 going against the Washington Commanders 3-9. Looking at the odds for this one here, Commanders road favorites here -125. Comeback of the Vikings +105. Total at 44. Spread at 1.5. All right, so public bet percentage here. Checking these odds. We have 58% of the bets coming in on Washington, with 73% of the money coming in on Washington as well. For the total, 59% of the bets, 65% of the money on the over 44, and for the spread, 76% of the bets and money towards Washington to cover the -1.5. Injury report here for the Vikings. Positive news is that they're going to get their quarterback back in J.J. McCarthy. He's been cleared. He will be starting at the QB spot. Theo Jackson is going to be out at safety, and Levi Drake Rodriguez, D lineman, he's going to be out as well for the Vikings. Now, for the Commanders, big news here. Jaden Daniels will play here. They get their leader in the Commanders here going up against the Vikings and Brian Flores. Everyone else, we're waiting on news about Drake Jackson, their DN, and we're waiting on news about Bobby Wagner, the veteran middle linebacker who had an interception last week. All right, so we'll see if they're going to be able to give it a go. Stay tuned to the news on those two guys. All right, so in this matchup here, we get Jaden Daniels. Is Jaden Daniels versus a very inconsistent J.J. McCarthy. And I'm really going to be on the side of the Commanders here. If you were able to hop on this number before the news, then congratulations, you would have got the Commanders at plus money. Now it is at a -125. So I highly encourage everyone to get on this line now before it gets any higher and take the Commanders to get this win against the Minnesota Vikings, who are trending downward. The quarterback play has really been an issue, and I see that continuing to happen as well. And then Washington, on the other hand, they're on a very long losing streak. Let me confirm for you. Is it more than 5 games Let's see. Oh my God. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game losing streak. They get Jaden Daniels back. I think they get off the schneid here, giving the Commanders here in a smash spot against the Minnesota Vikings. I think this Commanders defense takes advantage of the Vikings offense and JJ McCarthy as well. So main play, moneyline Commanders. Secondary play, under 44 in the total. In Raymond James Stadium here, we have the Buccaneers 7-5 going against the New Orleans Saints 2-10. Looking at the current odds for this one, we got Buccaneers minus 8.5 on the spread, total at 41.5, and then money line minus 450 for the Bucks. Come back on the Saints at plus 350 on that money line. Looking at the current odds in this game, starting off with the money line, 96% of the bets, 93% of the money on the Bucks. For the total, 61% of the bets coming in on the over, but we got 52% of the money coming in on the under 41.5 for the sharps. And for the spread, 72% of the bets, 82% of the money on Tampa Bay to cover this number at 8.5. All right, now injury report here. Saints are dealing with a lot of issues. No Alvin Kamara, no Talise Fuaga, no Justin Reed. So the three key guys that are going to be out here, especially Justin Reed and tackle Fuaga. And Devin Neal is the number one running back here for the Saints. Bucks on the other end, Mike Evans not ready yet, but very close. And then Jaleel McLaughlin not ready yet, but really close. And then Rashad Wisdom, safety, he's going to be out of this game despite being a full practice all week long. All right. Now, this matchup here between these NFC South members, did they already play this year? Yes, and that was a blowout by 20 points against the Saints in New Orleans here. That was a clear under of 26 points. This total is at 41.5, and I believe we get a little bit of shootout. We got Bucky Irving back in the fold. I like how Tyler Shuck likes to threaten and get the ball down the field to his Chris Olave or to his tight ends or Deshaun Vele. And I think that's where they're going to have to do it in the air, because that's the weakness of the Buccaneers. 29th in the league against opposing passing attacks. And I think that the clear value in this game is on the Saints plus 8.5. So give me that. I think the Saints keep it close. Fight in division matchup here. We had the blowout in the first game in the under, and I like the opposite in this one. Give me the Saints plus 8.5 and give me the over 41.5 in the total. Like I said, I like Tyler Shuck to force things, get this offense going, and keep it competitive against this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team as well. In M&T Bank here, we have the Baltimore Ravens 6-6 going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers 6-6 as well. Looking at the current odds, Ravens at home minus 250 on the money line, with the comeback of the Steelers at a plus 200, total at 43, spread at 6. Looking at, they already played. No, this will be their first matchup this season. Surprisingly, they waited for these two matchups here very late into the season. Let's look at the public bet percentage. All right, now we have 82% of the bets, 80% of the money on Baltimore to win for the total, 58% of the bets towards the over 43, and then for the money, 52% of the money towards the under 43. Spread, 58% of the bets coming in on the Steelers to cover, and then for the money, 53% of the money here to come in on the Ravens to cover. So very mixed bag here. This is an in-division matchup here, but I think there's something clearly mistaken here with this Pittsburgh Steelers team. Now, looking at the injury report here, for the Ravens, only to Tavius Robinson, outside linebacker, he's going to be out, and Ardarius Washington, safety, he's going to be out. Pittsburgh Steelers dealing with some issues. Kyle Duggar, who's been playing pretty solidly after acquiring him from New England, he's out. Calvin Anderson, tackle, he's out. Derek Harmon, D tackle, he's out. TJ Watt is going to be fine. And we have, I think that is it. I think everyone else is fine as well. Jalen Ramsey had rest, and DK Metcalf had rest. Aaron Rodgers seems to be fine to play with that left wrist issue, and this would really made this Steelers team very one-dimensional. And I think that this Ravens defense can have an opportunity to take advantage of them. All right, now, both of these defenses here have had spots. They've been really inconsistent, but I think they're both going to show up here in this rivalry game that we got going on here. I don't like the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, especially with the hampered hand or wrist of Aaron Rodgers, and it's really from what I watched in that Buffalo game, it really limited their potential. If DK Metcalf can't win, they're probably not going to leave him one-on-one. You could just double team him, and you got a lot of question marks around the Steelers offensive here and pass catchers. So I like the Ravens to cover the number. Give me the Ravens -6 here in this game, and I think that we can go under 43 on the total in this one. I love the Ravens to get this win. I think they cover -6 main play, secondary play, under 43 on the total. In Everbank Stadium here, Jacksonville Jaguars 8-4, Colts 8-4. Classic AFC South matchup here between these two teams. Both of these teams going in different trajectories here, but one is a little bit of a falser team. We'll look into it here. Now, looking at the odds here, the line is true. Colts -130 as road favorites, total at 46.5, spread at 1.5. Looking at the public bet percentage in this one, checking that in the money line. Kicking things off with the Colts at 67% of the bets and money towards the Colts. For the total, 58% of the bets coming in on the over, but 50% of the money coming in on the under 46.5. And for the spread, 50% of the bets coming in on Jacksonville to cover 1.5, and then 52% of the money coming in on the Colts to cover the -1.5. So, injury report here for this AFC South matchup here. Q tags on Jalen Carleys and Tyquan Lewis. The big out is going to be Sauce Gardner. He is confirmed to be an out of this game. All right, I'm not going to. I was going to talk about Sauce Gardner, but we'll skip that part. For the Jacksonville Jaguars, Walker Little concussion. He's going to be out. Andrew Wingard, safety, concussion. He's going to be out. They got a ton of guys with concussion here. We got to wait on Patrick McCarry, tackle, if he's going to be able to give it a go, despite the fact he has 2 full practices. You got to wait on news on Sunday. So that's 2 tackles there that are questionable and 1 that is out. Trayvon Walker is trending towards playing. I already spoke about Wingard, and then everyone else seems to be fine here for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, this Jacksonville Jaguars has been playing over their means. This team is not that good, and they're very sloppy, and they commit a lot of turnovers. All right, and that's mainly because of their captain and Trevor Lawrence, who is super inconsistent. But hey, when you look at it, they have won 4 out of their last 5 games. Easy matchups against Tennessee and Arizona. And in that Houston game, that was a Davis Mills as quarterback, and they lost. And then they had an easy game against Las Vegas, only won by 1. All right, so they've been a beneficiary of easier schedule. And for the Colts here, they had to go through Houston and KC the last 2 weeks and got a nice win against Atlanta. All right, so 2 back-to-back tough games against Kansas City, and then against a division rival. And now they're coming into this spot. I think the better team, the team that's going to make the less mistakes and can rely on the running game, will be the Indianapolis Colts in this one. So give me the Colts on the money line as the main play. Have they played already? No, this will be their first matchup. They're going to play again. For the total, I'm going to go towards the under 46.5 in the total. I think that things will be controlled by the Colts in their running game, and definitely limit Daniel Jones from passing so much because of his injury with the fibula, but definitely control this tempo here in this game. So Colts money line, secondary play under 46.5. That's going to be our breakdown for the early slate here for week 14. Let me know in that comment section down below if you agree or disagree. We can definitely debate about that down below in the comment section. Also, don't forget to sign up for that Patreon. Get locked and loaded. You're going to get full access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes up 24/7. This is your boy Chef D. I'll be back very soon, and peace out.